Okay, so now let's just build our first endpoint. Now I have here my application. I have just started my application. You can also do that. And you see here I have this localhost .8080. Why localhost? Because I have said to you, you can replace your 127.0.0.1 with localhost. So it's basically the same. And you see here I have an error. Now I want to transform this method so it can be my root, let's say my root endpoint. So all you have to do is put right here dot request mapping, and then I need to put some attributes. I need to put the type of method, the type of HTTP method, and I will put get because I want that particular resource. Then I can put the particular path, the particular endpoint, so I will put just the root path. And then I need to change this controller into REST controller. What is the difference between REST controller and controller? You will see right now. So I'm going to just restart my application. And I'm just going to refresh this. And if you see, I have my collection of people, free people, which I have hard-coded my application as JSON format. So behind the scenes, based on this simple configuration and this, Spring has taken my list of person, which is a Java object, a collection of objects, and has converted into JavaScript object notation and has returned as an endpoint based on this configuration. Because here, if I type F12, let me just so you can see better. Okay, not this one. This one. I will go to network. And if I refresh this, you will see behind the scenes, it has this request URL. The method is get, and I have this status code. Now we haven't discussed about status code, but I just wanted to show you. This is the HTTP method get, and it's basically calling the server and says, hey, give me what you have on this particular endpoint. And based on this configuration, this get and this path, Spring has returned me this list of person in a JSON format. Now, as I said, the difference between REST controller and controller is this. If I type controller and restart, you will see this doesn't work anymore. Why is that? Because if I refresh this, you will see I have an error right now. I have an error because I have controller. Spring cannot convert this into response body. Because the difference between controller and REST controller, besides other things, the main difference is that REST controller will allow your methods, which are annotated with request mapping, will allow your methods to be returned as response bodies. What response body means? Means that your objects will be converted into JSON format, because this is the default conversion into JSON format. You have other formats, but let's not discuss this right now. You have, so if I put REST controller here and restart, now it should work. Now, one thing I have to mention, if you have coded with me, you will probably not see this pretty format. Maybe you will ask, hey, why I can't see it? Now I'm on Chrome. Let me just go to extensions. I have this JSON viewer. Let me just remove it. And you will probably see something like this. You can add an extension to Chrome so it will pretty format your JSON. So I can go to JSON pretty viewer extension. I can go to the first link. I can add in Chrome. And now if I refresh this, you will see this pretty JSON format. So that's all. You have just built your first endpoint, and this is the root endpoint. And based on this configuration, it has returned my collection of objects. Now what happens if instead of get, I put post? You will see that it won't work anymore, because I will start this, and behind the scenes, the browser will, let me go to network. Behind the scenes, the browser will will have a get, but I have configured it to this return if it's a post. Now by default, browsers will call get. To do this, you will need to use a tool which is called Postman. But for now, I just want to show you that even if the endpoint is the same, if the method is different, it will not return your result. So let me just put get and restart, and I will have my my result. So that's all. That's all, and we have built our first endpoint. Now in the next videos we will dive deep into details, but for right now I just want to show you how to build a RESTful APIs. And this particular data can be consumed by the front end, so it can be pretty displayed on the screen, let's say like a table and so on.